There comes a moment in your life when everything feels like it's falling apart. The walls close in, the pressure builds, and the silence from heaven seems unbearable. You've done all you can, prayed, waited, hoped, but the situation still looks the same. It is in this very moment when human hands can no longer hold the weight that God steps in. Because God is not waiting for you to fix it, He's waiting for you to trust that He can. The storm you're facing isn't a sign that God has left you. It's a sign that He's drawing you deeper, deeper into trust, deeper into surrender, deeper into the truth that no situation, no matter how complicated, broken, or impossible, is beyond His power to heal, restore, and resurrect. You may not see the way out, but He already has the path laid out. He is not figuring it out as He goes. He's the Alpha and the Omega. He saw your end before your beginning, and nothing has taken Him by surprise. Your situation is not a surprise to heaven. It's an opportunity for glory. You see, sometimes God allows the situation to break, not to punish you, but to rebuild it His way. What you thought was the end may be the beginning of a divine transformation. That relationship that shattered, maybe God was protecting you. That door that closed, maybe it wasn't your door. That delay, maybe it's divine alignment. God doesn't just fix things on the surface. He gets to the root. He's not interested in temporary relief. He's committed to eternal restoration. But He cannot fix what you refuse to release. Some of us are holding on to pain, control, fear, outcomes, and God is saying, put it down. Trust me, because the miracle isn't in your striving. The breakthrough isn't in your worry. The power is in your surrender. When you say, God, I don't know how you'll do it, but I know you will. You invite the supernatural into the natural. You give permission for heaven to touch earth. You turn the burden into a blessing by trusting that the one who spoke the stars into place is the same one who can speak peace into your storm. There are times when the weight of a situation becomes too heavy to carry, yet many still try to fix everything on their own. This is a natural human reaction, trying to stay in control, searching for solutions, and refusing to let go. But the truth is, the breakthrough often doesn't come through more effort. It comes through surrender. That's the moment when something shifts. That's when the divine steps in. You see, God is not waiting for you to be strong enough or wise enough. He's not standing by expecting you to figure out how to escape the trial or solve the mess. What He's waiting for is your surrender, not out of weakness, but out of trust. When a person finally reaches the end of their own strength and says, I can't fix this, that's not failure, it's freedom. Because what can't be accomplished in your strength can be transformed through divine hands. Surrender is not about giving up, it's about letting go of what you were never meant to carry in the first place. It's saying, I don't have the answers, but I trust the one who does. It's a release of control so that the one who holds the universe can take over and do what only He can do. Many people spend years in cycles of stress, worry, and fear because they keep trying to be their own savior. They think if they can just work harder, be better, or try longer, things will turn around. But the truth is, that strategy leaves people drained, discouraged, and often further away from peace. Surrender flips the script. It says, I know I'm not enough, and that's okay because I was never meant to be. That moment of surrender becomes the doorway to peace, healing, and restoration. And it's in that surrender that you discover something else. You were never alone. God has been there all along, waiting patiently for you to stop striving. He's not judging your struggle. He's drawing you closer because trust is what builds relationship. Trust is what transforms a crisis into a calling. When you let go, you open the door for heaven to move in ways that human hands could never orchestrate. This doesn't mean the situation will magically disappear or that everything will be easy, but it does mean that you are no longer carrying the burden alone. It means that the one who has all power is now working on your behalf, not just to fix what's broken, but to strengthen your heart in the process. Surrender isn't a step back, it's the step forward that leads to breakthrough. When you stop trying to be your own answer and start trusting the one who sees the full picture, that's when peace replaces panic, clarity replaces confusion, and strength rises from surrender. In letting go, you find the beginning of a new, better path, one not built by your hands, but guided by divine purpose. There are moments in life when everything seems to unravel at once. Relationships fall apart, plans collapse, and doors close with no explanation. It's tempting to interpret these hardships as punishment or signs of failure. But often, what feels like a breakdown is actually the beginning of a breakthrough. The pain, confusion, and uncertainty are not there to destroy you. They are allowed to prepare you. In the divine design, preparation rarely looks like comfort. It often shows up as disruption. God doesn't prepare you in places of ease. He prepares you in the fire. When everything seems to be going wrong, it's easy to think something is out of order or that you've taken the wrong path. But what if the disorder is actually part of the order? What if what looks like a setback is a setup for something greater? Many times the old must fall apart for the new to be built. Like a field must be broken before it can be planted, your heart must be softened, your pride removed, and your dependence on temporary things stripped away before you can carry something eternal. The wilderness seasons in life are not about isolation, they're about transformation. In the wilderness, distractions are removed, noise is silenced. You come face to face with your own soul and your Creator. It's in those quiet, uncertain places that deep change happens. You learn patience, you build character, you develop endurance. All of these are not punishment, but preparation for the purpose that's ahead. The pain is not meaningless. It is producing in you what comfort never could. Even when you can't see it, the preparation is working. That closed door may be saving you from something you weren't meant to walk into. That betrayal may be revealing the truth that was hidden. That loss may be clearing space for something greater. God doesn't waste anything. Every delay, every disappointment, every detour has purpose written into it. He is the master architect, designing a future that often makes sense only in hindsight. It takes faith to believe that you are being prepared when everything looks like it's falling apart. But faith is not based on what is seen. It's based on trust. Trust that you are not forgotten. Trust that there is a plan. Trust that something bigger is being formed beneath the surface. Just as a seed must be buried in darkness before it grows, so too must you sometimes walk through hidden seasons before the promise begins to bloom. So if you find yourself in a place of confusion, don't assume it's the end. It might be the middle. It might be the moment where preparation turns into purpose. Hold on. Don't curse the breaking. It may be the very process that's shaping you into the person who can handle the blessing you've been praying for. What feels like falling apart could actually be divine construction at work, building something far stronger and more lasting than you could ever build on your own. There is a moment that comes to everyone, a moment when strength runs out, when plans no longer work, and when all human effort proves insufficient. That moment is not the end. It is, in fact, the beginning of something sacred. When you reach the end of your control, you step into the realm of divine intervention. It's in this space of surrender where miracles are born. Miracles are not manufactured by human hands or forced into existence by sheer will. They are received by hearts that have let go and trusted that a greater power is at work behind the scenes. Letting go is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is the realization that some battles are not meant to be fought with logic or strength, but with faith and patience. Holding on tightly to what you cannot fix only delays the healing. But when you release your grip, you give permission for the impossible to happen. You allow the divine to take over, and that is when real change begins. You stop trying to manipulate outcomes, and instead, you begin to witness outcomes you could never have imagined. There is a holy stillness that comes when you finally stop striving. Not a stillness of defeat, but one of trust. In that stillness, you are no longer driven by fear or anxiety, but anchored in peace. The pressure to perform is replaced by a quiet confidence that help is on the way, even if you don't yet see it. That kind of peace isn't logical, but it's powerful. It silences storms. It calms the inner chaos. It brings clarity when everything else feels blurred. Miracles don't always come in lightning bolts or loud displays. Often they arrive quietly in unexpected phone calls, in restored relationships, in opportunities that seem to appear out of nowhere. They come when hearts shift, when burdens lift, when something that felt impossible suddenly turns around. But they rarely show up until you've released the need to control how and when they arrive. There is power in surrender, not because it changes the situation immediately, but because it changes you. It opens your heart to believe again, to hope again, to trust that you are not alone in this. The moment you stop saying, I have to fix this, and start saying, I trust you to fix this, something changes in the atmosphere. You begin to move in alignment with a higher plan, one that doesn't just solve the surface problem, but restores the foundation beneath it. So if you're at the end of yourself, know this, you're in the perfect place for a miracle. Don't panic in the pause. Don't fear the silence. It is often the quiet before the breakthrough. Miracles don't need your perfection. They need your permission. Let go, make room, and watch what can happen when the impossible meets the one who makes all things possible. Even when everything around you appears broken, lost, or beyond repair, there is a quiet assurance available to those who choose to believe. That trust unlocks restoration beyond what the eyes can see. Often in life, you'll find yourself in situations where nothing makes sense. Prayers seem unanswered, the future feels uncertain, and your efforts appear fruitless. In these moments, the natural response is to doubt, to fear, or to take matters into your own hands. But the deeper truth is this: restoration is already underway in places your heart cannot yet perceive. When you choose to trust even in the silence, you enter into alignment with a power that sees the full picture. While you're focused on the shattered pieces, heaven is already crafting something whole, something better than what you thought you lost. Restoration doesn't just mean returning to what was. It means being renewed in a way that surpasses the original. It means growth, healing, clarity, and transformation. But that process begins with faith, not sight. You may not see the solution yet, but it is forming. You may not understand the delay, but it has a purpose. Trust is not passive. It's active belief that what's broken now can become a blessing later. It's waking up each day with hope, choosing not to give in to fear and believing that your story is still unfolding. It's realizing that delays are not denials. They are often divine pauses to prepare you for what's next. When you trust fully, you stop looking for signs and start resting in the promise. What's even more powerful is that this restoration reaches into the unseen corners of your life. It works not just on the external situation, but within your heart, healing wounds you didn't know were open, bringing peace to places you had buried in silence. It touches relationships, direction, finances, calling, and identity. When trust is present, everything is transformed not by your might, but by divine hands doing what only they can. You may have cried, waited, and fought battles that no one saw, and still, in your waiting, something holy has been happening. Doors that need to close are closing. People who were never meant to stay are walking away, but at the same time, what is meant for you is being drawn to you. Restoration doesn't always come in the way you expected, but it always comes when you trust the one who promised to make all things new. So keep believing, even in the absence of visible change. Keep walking, even when the path is dim. Your trust is the key to a restoration that will one day make perfect sense. And when it does, you'll look back and realize it was never falling apart. It was all falling into place. Faith never wastes time. It multiplies it in the right season. Restoration is not a distant hope. It's a current promise, and it begins the moment you truly believe. The conclusion of this speech is a powerful reminder that no matter how overwhelming or broken your situation may seem, trusting God is the turning point. He is not distant from your struggle. He is present in the middle of it, working behind the scenes in ways far beyond your understanding. When you surrender your worry and lean into faith, you invite restoration, healing, and breakthrough. The outcome may not look like what you expected, but it will always be better, deeper, and more complete. Trust isn't just a feeling, it's a decision to believe that the one who sees all will fix, restore, and elevate your life in His perfect timing. Keep going. Trust Him. He will not fail you.